Want to make a tasty summer cake with berries? Well, this is the perfect way to use those ripe summer berries. This is an Italian lemon olive oil cake with berries. Actually, these are blackberries, but you could use a variety of berries that you'd like. I'm going to take you today. Hey, it's Jenna here from sipbitego, and I'm going to take you today from start to finish and teach you how to make an olive oil cake with blackberries. So let's get into the kitchen and start making this delicious olive oil cake. You're gonna love it. And don't forget to subscribe to the sipbitego channel on YouTube. I put out new recipes each and every week, and they'll have you eating like a home chef. All right, let's get to it. So to make this Italian lemon olive oil cake with blackberries, the first step that you have to do is you have to add the eggs to a large bowl and whisk them together. So just crack the eggs, add them to large bowl, whisk completely, and then it's time to add sugar to the large bowl and whisk until the sugar and the eggs are combined. Next, you'll add in the milk, olive oil, and lemon extract. And believe me, your kitchen is going to smell so good when the lemon extract comes out. But there are a couple of substitutions you can make for olive oil cake, including using almond extract or just vanilla extract if you have that. And you can check out sipbitego.com to see a couple other ideas. So you could add in the lemon flavor by using fresh squeezed lemon in olive oil cake, or you could use lemon zest in olive oil cake. So those are a couple ways to make it still taste lemony if you don't have lemon extract. So once all of those are in the bowl, you combine them and set that bowl of the wet ingredients aside. And then you take out a new large bowl and you mix together the flour, cornmeal, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. Now I love the use of cornmeal in this olive oil cake recipe because it gives it a really nice texture and it still remains really light and fluffy from the olive oil in the cake. So anyways, you add the wet mixture to the flour mixture and gently stir it together. You definitely don't want the cake mixture to be too integrated. It sounds really crazy, but actually you want the cake mixture to be liquidy, but at the same time a little bit lumpy. It's pretty much the opposite of making brownies where you're gonna have a really thick batter. It's kind of light, and that's why this really delicious Italian lemon olive oil cake cooks up so nice and fluffy. And so it's going to go in the oven at this point, but the first thing that you have to do is grease a 9-inch cake pan and set the cake pan on a baking sheet. That's one of my tips because I find it so difficult sometimes when the pan is hot, when you're taking out the cake pan from the oven. It's kind of hard to maneuver. So anyways, you pour the batter into the cake pan that's greased and transfer the pan with the Italian lemon olive oil cake in it to the oven. Oh, just one little final step that I forgot to mention is that you want to add the fresh blackberries to the olive oil cake at this point. So that's what makes this a lemon olive oil cake with berries. You could use blackberries, raspberries, blueberries. There are so many different berries that you could use. Here I'm using blackberries. In Oregon, we also have Marion berries. I'm not exactly sure the difference, but I know they all taste delicious. So I made a cute little design here. You can see I'm, getting some use out of my art degree. Anyways, the Italian lemon olive oil cake with berries is going to cook in the oven for about 40 to 55 minutes. You'll have to see how your oven does. If you have any really hot spots, you're going to want to turn the pot or cake at the end. And anyways, it's going to cook for a little bit under an hour, and you know it's done when the top of the cake is golden brown and a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. So once the olive oil cake with berries is done, you allow it to cool completely in the pan for about 10 minutes. Now, I used a 9-inch pan. I think it was actually 9.5-inch, and it's a glass one. So that's why it may cook differently if you're using a glass pan versus a metal pan, and if you're using a 9-inch pan versus a 9.5-inch pan, there are just so many different variables. But you know it's done when you see that it's golden brown on top and golden brown on the sides if you're using a glass dish and can see in the cake. I love to just serve this Italian lemon olive oil cake right from the cake pan, especially using this one that's more decorative. It looks so beautiful in there, but if I'm feeling in the mood, I'll also put it on a cake stand and serve it that way for a brunch. So I hope that now you're feeling really confident to make this Italian lemon olive oil cake with blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, whatever type of berries you have in season where you live. This is definitely one of my favorite fruit desserts for summer. I love making olive oil cakes with fruit because they're so versatile. And you see just a few berries really on the top, about half a cup of berries, made it so every few bites has a burst of that berry flavor. And you can still see some of that cornmeal inside the olive oil cake. Olive oil cake with cornmeal is just one of the most delightful things that you probably never thought of having, because it just makes the cornmeal, or what would really be a cornbread, lighter and fluffier because the flour is added in there. Well, anyways, it's time to take a bite of this olive oil cake and enjoy it. Even our baby really loved the cake. He was asking for more, and he uses little sign language with his hands to say more, more, more. So I know it's a good thing if the baby likes it too. So anyways, until next time, don't forget to subscribe to the sipbitego channel on YouTube if you love to make delicious restaurant-style food at home. This is definitely something that reminds me of traveling to Italy. I went on a wonderful cruise in the Mediterranean with my mom years ago, and this reminds me of stopping by an olive oil farm that we enjoyed during an excursion. So definitely use some high quality olive oil in olive oil cakes. I love trying a fruity olive oil and just having one on the side that I don't cook with, just one olive oil on the side in my kitchen that I use for dressings and olive oil cakes. So anyways, until next time, I hope you have a wonderful and delicious day. Cheers!